Welcome to Celestial Insights, a weekly podcast that brings the stars down to earth. I'm your host, astrologer, coach, and intuitive Celeste Brooks. My purpose is to provide practical, unique, and insightful guidance to help you navigate the energies of the week like a boss. Hello, this is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste, and on this episode, I will discuss the astrology for the week of October 9th. But first, I have two announcements. I'm inviting you to join me at a free Scorpio season webinar on October 16th. This will be held on Zoom. And the reason I'm having a webinar about the season is because there's so much that's going to be going on. Number one, Mars is going to be going retrograde, and then we're going to be having two eclipses. So it's going to be really important for us to prepare ahead of time to figure out how we're going to remain grounded throughout a time where there can be unexpected changes and reversals, switchbacks, and just a lot of tension. The second event is that I'm going to be doing a talk for AFAN. And AFAN is a wonderful organization. Its global mission is to enhance, protect, and validate the important role astrologers and astrology have in today's society. And media accountability and public information are priority projects for them. They offer free community workshops once a month, and then there are transit talks and other talks throughout the month as well. It's a really great organization and it's inexpensive to join. And my talk will be on October 20th about the moon phase families. It's a technical talk about these longer cycles and how we can work with them and how we have seen them come to life in the collective. So you can go to astrologybyceleste.com on the events tab. You can sign up for one or both of these free events. The theme of this week is Beauty and the Beast. And there are three big things I want you to think about. The first is that we're going to be having a full moon at 16 degrees of Aries on Sunday, today. And the sun will be in Libra and the moon will be in Aries. Now, the beauty comes in here because the sun will be conjunct Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and harmony in her home sign of Libra. When a planet is in its home sign, it can really express its energy with ease. And Venus wants to bring beauty, harmony, and love to us. Venus sweetens things and Venus connects. So I want you to put a spotlight on what you love and how you act in your important relationships and how you create harmony and balance with others while still getting your own needs met. This is the moon in Aries. So Aries, Libra is the axis of the self versus the other. So really, this is a great week to really think about how you move in relationships, especially the one-on-one relationships, not just with your partner, your romantic partner, but with your best friends or other people or at work. And think about, are you doing things that are people-pleasing rather than asserting your own needs and creating healthy boundaries? And maybe think about how you can take some actions differently. This is a great week for visioning, thinking, as well as journaling, because there's a grand trine in air at this full moon where the sun is in Libra, Mars is in Gemini, and Saturn is in Aquarius. Air connects. Air is ideas. Air is words and thinking. So you can really think about how you take action, commit yourself, and create structures in relationships. And the sun and Venus will be in a trine with Saturn this week. So really a good time to think about how you commit yourselves to things, and is it because of the right reasons as you move through this week? The moon phase family, which is a 27-month cycle where your chart will be activated in approximately the same degree over a 27-month period every 9 months, started on April 11th, 2021, when we had a new moon at 22 Aries. So you can look at your chart and see where that was and what started for you about how you take action for the self back then. Then 9 months later, the first quarter moon was at 19 Aries this January 9th. And the sun was in Capricorn, the moon in Aries in that first quarter square, where something may have popped into your life, if you don't remember what happened at the new moon, about how you take action and how you either push yourself forward or hold yourself back because of your work, status, reputation. And yeah, great time to think about that. And now we come to the full moon where we're thinking about ourselves and how we move forward versus the one-on-one relationships of the others today. And this will wrap up about the last quarter moon phase will be July 9th of 2023. And that will be at 17 Aries where the sun will be in Cancer. And so this last quarter phase is a time where we integrate the lessons that we've learned over this last time. There may be something that happens as well that relates to how you take action for the self versus your family and your learned ancestral patterns and things like that. And it can be a time to move past them in an effort to grow yourself. So yeah, whenever there is an activation of the Aries moon, and this is the annual full moon where you can connect with the I am statement. Aries is all about the self, how we pursue our goals, how we show leadership, how we address our fears and move forward despite them. Where are we being a pioneer in our own lives? And other topics like that. So one thing you can do with this is I am, and then just do a bunch of free writing and think about how you are in relationship to yourself, to your status and reputation, to your family and ancestral patterns, and to your one-on-one relationship. So that's a great exercise to do today for the full moon. The second thing I want to point your attention to is that this full moon and part of this week, the sun in Libra will be on the asteroid of Psyche, which is right now at 16 degrees of Libra. So when we think of Psyche, we can think about our shadows and the subconscious. In terms of the myth, the asteroid Psyche represents the principle of being physically attuned and bonded to another human being. I'm reading from the Asteroid Goddesses book by Demetra George and Douglas Bloch. I hope I said his name right. It's one of the recommendations on my Amazon storefront. Often portrayed as a butterfly maiden. So keep your eyes out for butterflies this week. Psyche was born as a beautiful mortal who, in her search for reunion with her lover Eros, mastered heroic tasks set upon her by Aphrodite. Through each undertaking, Psyche sensitized her internal telepathic channels. So with the sun spotlighting this asteroid, this can be really a time for us to get really intuitive. Depicting the soul's journey from mortality to divinity, Psyche successfully transformed her earthly nature into that of a deity so she could become the heavenly bride of Eros, god of erotic love. Their union produced children named Bliss, Pleasure, and Ecstasy. Together, their love has become to symbolize soulmate union. So think about the principles of soulmates. And if you're with your soulmate in terms of your spouse, then yeah, you're very lucky. And if you thought they were a soulmate at one time, You can think about how you can get back to that love with this activation. If everything's bliss, pleasure, and ecstasy all the time, I think it's really a wonderful time to just honor that and be so thankful that you have that in your life. But think about how you can enhance those things and what do they mean to you? What does bliss mean to you? What does pleasure mean and ecstasy? And they don't necessarily need to come in from someone else. And hopefully you can find them within yourself and within activities you participate in and just throughout life. So contemplate that this week. And the last thing I want to bring your attention to is that Mars in Gemini will square Neptune in Pisces 3 times. First this week on Tuesday, October 11th, then November 19th, and then March 14th of next year. And the reason it's happening 3 times is because Mars is going to go retrograde on October 30th. And this is going to bring a lot of instability and a lot of scattered energy. And so Mars square Neptune is the holy war transit where people are willing to fight over their deeply rooted beliefs. And one thing we've been seeing a lot of with Mars and Gemini in the United States is a lot of handgun violence. And yeah, Gemini rules the hands. Mars is a planet of conflict. Guns are for conflict. So I'm concerned about the potential for senseless violence. And that's where the beast of this week comes in. Now, also, I'm concerned about people feeling a sense of futility, like no matter where I turn or what I do, nothing works. So reach out to people you have any concerns around if they've been struggling with depression or, anxiety and things like that. And if you've been feeling these yourself, this is an important week for you to work on some self-care. Yeah, watch out for people secretly harming themselves with this activation. But using it in a positive way, like pursuing your dreams, is how you can use this in a positive way. On Sunday, the word of the day is pursuit. Have faith that your dreams are in reach, even if it's been a struggle. There is so much going on with this endless Saturn-Uranus square, where structures we thought we could rely on are collapsing. I mean, we saw this in Florida with the massive hurricane where literally the town of Fort Myers was wiped out. Yeah, so the Saturn-Uranus square is very tight. So think about how you can remember to move forward despite unexpected upheavals in your life as you pursue your dreams. We start with the moon in Aries and Venus is parallel Neptune. So Venus parallel Neptune is almost like a conjunction where we can really feel this positivity to pursue our dreams. And Mars is on the fixed star Fact, and it's spelled P-H-A-C-T, and it has to do with uncharted waters. So thinking about how you can move forward despite the choppy waters and the destination not being as clear or changing as we go. And there's going to be the beautiful full moon at 1:54 p.m. Pacific time at 16 Aries. And one other feature about this full moon is that not just the sun and Venus are conjunct in Libra, but the moon in Chiron. So think about, you may feel a little tender, but how you can work on your healing and move forward and have faith. On Monday, the word of the day is cognizant. I want you to pause before speaking or acting. So you can think about Mel Robbins' 5-second rule where you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, especially if you're feeling a little agitated. Remember, the moon is in Aries, which can make us a little fiery and impulsive. The sun is on Psyche, which, subconscious shadow stuff can come up. So just keep that in mind to try to use your breath to stay grounded. The moon will enter the sign of Taurus at 2:03 p.m. So this is a beautiful energy. The moon is exalted in this sign. So you can think about how you can do things that give you pleasure and especially around the five senses. So, eat something delicious. Wrap yourself up in fabrics or a blanket if you're somewhere where it's starting to get cold that feels good against the skin. Get a massage. Give a massage, take a bath. These are beautiful things to do when the moon is in Taurus. Just enjoy, slow down. Mercury will re-enter Libra at 4:50 p.m. Pacific time. Now, Mercury's still in the shadow of the retrograde, so information can continue to come to light about things that the retrograde period is revealing to you. So, Mercury in this air sign, ideas. So, you may find yourself now becoming a little bit more concerned with balancing and bringing harmony. And using this energy well can bring win-win solutions when you're negotiating with someone. And on Tuesday, the word of the day is composure. Now, this can be the toughest day of the week for a lot of people. The sun will be conjunct Uranus. So the sun in Libra, the sign of relationship, conjunct Uranus in Taurus, the sign of resources and values. Conjunctions move us into a new situation. So something surprising may come to light. And you'll have to release and let go of something likely that you weren't aware you're going to have to release and let go of, and maybe don't want to. So that could happen. You may have to change your strategy. Venus will square Pallas Athena, the asteroid of strategy, and in how you relate to a person and you're in relationship to. Now the sun will trine Saturn, so this can spotlight what you want to stay committed to, what you're willing to put the hard work into in order to creating something better. Saturn is in the sign of Aquarius, or how you're in community with other people. It also can spotlight some hardship. So the sun is at 18 Libra, Saturn's at 18 Aquarius, both in air signs. So you may get some great ideas, but this is also the day Mars will square Neptune. Mars at 23 Gemini, Neptune at 23 Pisces. Watch out for feeling futile. If you need to knock off work early and go do something to enjoy yourself, this is a great day to do it, and try not to get too wrapped up or weighed down by the problems of the day. On Wednesday, the word of the day is admiration. Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and harmony, in its home sign of Libra, is conjunct the asteroids Amor and Cupido. So this can bring some loving feelings, and the moon is still in Taurus and she is exalted there. So, be very receptive to any compliments that you may get from someone, as well as if you see someone doing something you admire, share it with them. Today is also the last time Mercury, the planet of communication, will oppose Jupiter, the planet of expansion and abundance. And Mercury is at 1 degree of Libra, Jupiter at 1 degree of Aries. So, communicate with someone in terms of complimenting them on something they've been working on a long time and starting to see the abundance and the bounty coming from it. Or, be in self-admiration. It can be the 6 of Wands when it's in protection in the reverse position. It can be like you feel an internal sense of victory that you don't necessarily need to share with anyone else. But take some time to think about what you've been working on for a while, and despite, difficulties and setbacks and delays, how you've made progress is a wonderful thing to do today. And the moon will enter the air sign of Gemini at 10:07 p.m. Pacific time. Air connects. It's about information. This is over the next couple of days. You can think about journaling your feelings and writing stuff down to document what you're doing. I love keeping a journal where you can flip back and see, where you started, where you are now, and some of the progress. You can really get a great appreciation for the journey when you stay in touch with the steps it takes to get there. On Thursday, the word of the day is serendipity. This is when luck and opportunity meet and bring you bounty. So on this day, we have the disseminating moon starting at 5 degrees of Gemini at 8:18 a.m. Pacific time. And this is a time to share your knowledge, share what you learn with someone. There is a lot of energy to connection. So if you would feel inspired to start up a conversation with someone, do it, because Venus, the planet of love and beauty and harmony, and Venus brings us good things, is in conjunct with Uranus, the planet of surprise, the planet of sudden events. So you could be sharing something with someone and they offer you something that moves you into a new position. This is what conjuncts do, where you have to release something in order to take advantage of something else. So yeah, some people will get unexpected raises. Somebody could win a lotto ticket if their chart is impacted by this. So Venus is at 17 degrees of Libra and Uranus at 17 degrees of Taurus. So Uranus is reporting into Venus in Libra. So if you have planets around 17 degrees of the fixed signs, stay present. Uranus also breaks things, so hopefully you won't have an unexpected expensive repair come up or a broken relationship. But I like this conjunct because also Venus trines Saturn. So you may need to decide, what you want to commit to in your partnerships on this day. On Friday, the word of the day is ecstasy. There's really not much going on in the sky, so this day could be relatively chill, although the Saturn-Uranus square is ever present, and on this day, Mars will be contra-parallel Pluto. But I'm looking at this Mars contra-parallel Pluto. It's got like an oppositional, but also a connecting energy. I just see it as very sexy. So yes, I see it as very sexy, and the word of the day is ecstasy. So I want you to have a great time. It's Venus's day on Friday, every Friday, and Venus is in her home sign of Libra. Wonderful to go see some art or listen to music and do something cultural. And it could be, enjoy the sexy energy. On Saturday, the word of the day is tender. The moon enters Cancer at 9:10 a.m. This watery energy can have us feeling a little bit emotional or sensitive or tender. So be kind to yourself and others. There's not much going on in the sky on this day. So hopefully you can sleep in. This is a great day for a leisurely breakfast or brunch, with a mimosa or a Bloody Mary. I like that. So that's a suggestion for Saturday. So that's it for this week's episode. Feel free to email me at celeste@astrologybyceleste.com with any astrology in action story about how the transits or the daily themes are playing out for you. Remember to check out my events page and see if you want to come to one of my events. Take care, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you for listening to Celestial Insights. To learn more about my work, please visit my website, astrologybyceleste.com, where I offer personal readings, horary consultations, cosmic coaching, group events, and classes to help guide people to higher levels of fulfillment. You can also find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook at Astrology by Celeste. If you enjoyed Celestial Insights, please help others find the show. Follow, rate it 5 stars, or write a nice review. I would so appreciate it. I'm astrologer, coach, and intuitive Celeste Brooks, and I'll be back next week.